So, so today we are gonna not complete. Can't say it's going to be completed. We're going to continue. But I'm going to need to turn myself down because I'm doing my head in today. So, we've been making this, haven't we? Basically, this. I'm not going to show you this again. Nobody wants to see this again. We are now. We've gone through. We've done this bit. We've got this bit done. I still need to get some elements of it done. So like, it's not completely finished decorating, etc. We've done a bit, and we kind of did a bit, but we didn't do a bit because I didn't know that you wanted to see me decorate it on camera. So, so we still need to do something with this, and then we need to decorate this, but we need to fill this gap first. Okay, so remember what I said about it not being too, because we've got quite bulky things on the insides, you have to bear that in mind for the outsides. You could have a deep pocket here, but then you'd end up with an alligator mouth. So it would sit like that rather than like that. And then as it gets filled up, it's going to look like that. You don't want it to look like that. So we need to then create something here that is compact enough to be able to, just put a couple of extra bits in it and not take up too much space. So what I was thinking is perhaps having a tuck in here. Now, I'll be totally honest with you. I did think about having a cluster tuck. You have to be careful about how you say cluster tuck, because it sounds like something else. But I've made myself laugh now, and I need to get out of that. So you need to have something in here. Now, I'm not confident with making cluster tucks, but I'm sure I could do the other things. But I thought, well, let's have some kind of like a tuck that we decorate, okay? And I don't know what it is about cluster tucks. I just can't do them. Sorry, clusters. I'll stop calling them cluster tucks, Dave, because that's going to come out wrong in a minute. But I don't know. I'm just building clusters of things. I don't know. It just doesn't work for me. I have no idea what I'm doing when I'm doing it. So, they always just look like a bit of a mess to me. Well, I'm not saying other people's look like a bit of a mess. I'm saying that when I make them, they look a bit of a mess. Me and Brian could be using with the same things, sat next to each other, working away. And his comes out like, how on earth did you get it to look like that? So, anyway, I'm gonna make a pocket. Is what I've decided, because I don't want to make a mess on camera. Okay, stop doing that, Dave. Keep doing that. So what I need to do is I need to measure this. So didn't get yourself prepared enough. No ruler. Okay, so I need it to be, if I have it a similar size to this, which is 4.5 inches, and look at me going old school and having inches. And I think I'm going to make it no taller than, 2 inches, I think is, So 2 inches high, because then it gives you enough space to tuck, by 4.5 inches is what I said that way, by 4.5. Okay, move that out of the way, Dave. Find your guillotine. Oh, everything's gonna fall over. If you hear me go ow, I have a condition called peripheral neuropathy, which means that I don't get the same sensation in my hands and my feet that most people do. It's caused from like working in the chemical industry a long time ago. And the reason I'm telling you that is because I broke my favourite cup, which I was absolutely devastated yesterday. And there's bits of it on the floor, and I've somehow managed to cut my foot without noticing. And that's because I don't feel the same sensation. I only noticed when I stuck the same bit of thing in the side of my foot, which I can feel. Anyway, too much information. So, just thinking, Dave, did you cut the right bit off? I did. That's all right. Thank goodness for that. So yeah, that's that. Okay, so then we said no wider than 4.5. So let's do do it that way. So that's why I'm always like, I always say joke about cutting a finger off live on camera, because it could possibly happen. Because I just don't have the same sensation. So one singular sensation. You don't want me to sing. I've been singing. I don't know. I think I must have heard it on the radio. Help Me Make It Through the Night. I'm just gonna. The reason why I'm going to cut this corner off is if you're going to tuck something in, what you find is when you tuck, you end up like catching the corner, and they go fluffy really quickly. So like a little bent ear. So I'm just going to cut the corner off just to give it a bit of a rounded edge. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I was singing Help Me Make It Through the Night. So for some reason, must have heard it on the radio. It's the bit where they sing, pull the ribbon from your hair, shake it loose and let it fall. Well, I shook it loose, I let it fall, and not just the ribbon and the hair fell, it all fell out. So there we go. So anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna have that there. That means that you've got space to tuck in the top, and we're gonna decorate it up and make it look a little bit older. Okay. We are going to be mostly in November doing ephemera. So I was kind of saying to myself, remember the 15th of November. And then I was thinking, oh no, because like that's next week is mostly ephemera. And then I was thinking, ephemera, the 15th of November. So like now I've got that stuck in my head. Sorry, I'm just like kind of like telling you all about my life. I don't even know what I'm talking about. So somebody sent me this in some Happy Mail, and I just thought, oh, it's Laura Ashley as well, but it's Laura Ashley from, I think it came from Australia. So it's an Australian dollar. So I'm going to keep that because that's an old sticky label, and of course I don't have enough clutter in my house to not warrant keeping extra stuff. So can't actually open this. Trying to cut the paper or your finger off. Is it me, or is packing? You know, as you get older, packing kind of like just eludes you. How the hell you get into the stuff? That's where I currently am in life. My mum used to keep the packing for me, you know, when I went to see her and say, I need you to get into this, Dave. And like now, I don't think she'll ask me. I think she'll probably be doing it for me because I can't get into it either. So you know, why am I using this? Because I just thought it was nice. And I tell you now, we all, well, not all, most of us as canny crafters will go into DIY stores and help ourselves to a few samples of wallpaper that we like. Not because we're thinking of decorating like that, but because we think, oh, I can use that on a journal or something else. I seem to be ripping it a little, but you know what? It's a big roll. I don't know. Oh, I keep such piles of rubbish, don't I? Okay, so let's give it a rip. So I was thinking maybe, because we've kind of got this kind of like red here, and I kind of thought that we would pick that up. And it's got the green in it, and it's got kind of the yellow, and I kind of thought, oh, you know, let's use this. It was sent to me, it was free. It's good. Okay, so how do I want to use it? So what I'm thinking is, let's tear it down a bit so it's easier to work with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of roughly fussy cut this line. Okay, so I might not use it all, but I'm going to roughly fussy cut it. No, well, when I say fussy cutting, I mean tear. So I'm not, some of you know that I like to tear things. Not like deliberately, I don't go into books and tear them up or anything like that. I mean, I prefer tearing to cutting, just because I think, because for me, I take a very literal interpretation of a junk journal, and I like to make it look a little bit junky. I'm very literal anyway. I'm typically autistic, I guess, in that way. I take a very literal stance on things. People get very frustrated with me when they ask me questions, because unless they ask me a very specific question, I don't give them a very specific answer. Or sometimes I can't answer them. It's like, I'm a bit like a computer's brain. Well, I mean, like to an ordinary autistic person, that would probably make sense, because you only get out of me what you put in. So if you don't ask me the right things, you're not going to get the right answer. I don't think I'm going to have it. Shall I have it a little bit? No, I'm going to have it like that. Okay, right. Oh, everything's fallen forward. These are all here because I want to talk to you about those. In a minute. Don't try and do that, Dave, because that doesn't work. I need a book or something, a piece of paper or something. Don't know what I'm saying. Oh dear. You should see what the floor looks like. No, you really shouldn't. I've just seen out of the corner of my eye something about Lou saying something about a cluster something, and I really can't look, because that'll just be end up in my head again. And I've tried to condition myself out of saying that term. It's a cluster tuck. So you have to think about it then. Okay. I want it like that. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So, just sticking that on there, just not being too worried about how random it is. These are my sticky scissors. Okay, I've decided I'm having scissors that are classified as clean scissors and sticky scissors, and then I have my posh scissors, which are my Tim Holtz ones that I don't actually use for anything. I just look at them and stroke them occasionally. No, I do I do use them, just in case there are people out there thinking, what, stroke scissors? Is he mad? He'll definitely lose a finger if he's stroking scissors. I'm just flipping it over because I've just used that sticky bit, and I don't want to turn this face down and then get sticky all over it. Okay, just going to age up the little edges. The wallpaper for me is perhaps a little bit too new looking, so just making it a little older looking. You know what I'm like. Some of you think I over age. Horses for courses, we all have our different tastes, don't we? So yeah, just like taking because this is a fairly new file index card thing. It's not old or anything like that, so I'm just kind of taking the newness out of it. The other thing to do is, you know, if you want it to have a bit of I don't know what the term is, like a fluffy edge, is to just go over it with a bit of an emery board, and that kind of just breaks down the particles of the paper. Dave's got words out. And it just gives you that, you know, when you get like like split ends, basically, it's like a rough, like a fibrous bit on a book when you've been thumbing it a lot. Well, that's kind of basically what you're just doing, is you're just kind of giving it that kind of, you're aging it prematurely. Premature aging, that's basically what I'm going through. Just a little bit of this kind of paper, you know, the craft card paper, this stuff that all of these things are made out of. It's really good. If you sand over the top of it, it really breaks down quite easily without breaking apart. See, look there, you've got that. You see? Okay, so now Dave, you still want to age that. And then what it'll do is it'll pick up the colour in a different way. It'll go slightly darker. and that's good. That's what we want. We want it to look a bit more aged. What I'm actually going to do is I want to, well, it says what I'm actually going to do, because if you can't find it, it's not actually going to do any of that. No. Okay, so I bet Brian, oh no, it's there. I was going to blame Brian. When Brian comes here and he crafts, there's a whole pile of things that are over in that corner that I don't realise are still there. So this is just rusty hinge. Just going to put some of this on it, just because it for me, I think it just makes it look a little bit more dirty. Just on the edge, not going too mad. Okay, don't lean on that, because that's a new thing. I need to buy some more of these. I am running really short of these now. All the ink's dried up. The other thing I need to buy is another archival ink, although it is on my Christmas list, so I'm not allowed to buy anything at the minute. So there we go. Now I like the fruitiness of it. Okay, so I'm going to have it as a tuck. Okay, I'm going to glue it down. So I get really confused with the gluing of corners. Okay, so if I do the bottom and where my fingers currently are, so I'll do that bit first. I think I did that with that. I was going to have to tuck this side and then glue the wrong sides, which I think you saw me do. So, okay. So again, just using some Fabri-Tac because I just like the adhesion from it. I'm just going to put that there. I wanted it kind of roughly the same. It doesn't matter if it's not the same width or in the right place exactly, but I wanted it to look a little bit like I've tried. Sometimes like I've tried and I've failed. Okay, so there we go. Right, okay, so it's all right. I'm not going to go. That's it. That's the hour done with. No, it isn't. I keep thinking 25 minutes. How did I get to 25 minutes? But I did start late. So okay. So I think that this kind of like tones in nicely. Now what we need to do is we need to start thinking about the decoration of things, okay, and the tucks and what we're going to have in it. So let's move this out of the way. Okay, so remember I said I'm going to do the decoration of the outside last. I think the reason why I explained it before is because what you put inside will indicate what you have on the outside. You know, for instance, I might have this down the spine because that's now an element of being in here. Okay, so I've got lots of cards here. Okay, so just move that out of the way for a minute. So cards. Okay, so I use lots of cards in a journal like this. They tuck in nicely to bits like this. This is just a paint sample card, a Valspar paint sample. I think it's from B&Q. And all I've done is I've sprayed it with a bit of iridescent ink, but they all kind of sit nicely in there. You know, they're the kind of the right size things. The same with, this is an RSVP card from a wedding. Clearly I didn't get invited. Things, you know, this is donkey. What have we got? Old maid, happy families, all of these kind of cards, these all kind of lend themselves to this kind of a look. So with these, you really don't need to do anything to these. If you want to make them into a journal card, I would suggest that you stick it over the back here. Okay, but you can use, so like paint chips, you know, don't think, oh, I can't make this because I don't have X, Y, and Z. You probably have in the loft or somewhere around the house, even if it's new, like you will have, these are new playing cards. They're like just small versions, but they're, you know, they're same with these. These were just bought from, I think they were bought from Hobbycraft. And you can turn these into, you know, you can age this down. This is a table number thing. You know that I'm a fan of my big cards. So, take a chance on me. Oh, building loan matures, receive £150. If only. These were kindly sent to me, Pan Am cards. What about these? This is another thing to think about when you're putting things into a journal. You know, you go to I have boxes full of these things. When you go and you get a sample of your perfume or aftershave, and they spray it on a card. Some of these cards come in like really interesting shapes. I keep them. You know, I also know people who are in the trade who have, like, you know, said this is the old style card, and they've given me some, or, you know, whatever. So you can buy ephemera cards. So this was kindly sent to me by Becca. She sent me these, but these are all like little cards that, again, like, kind of got that kind of like same colour theme. I think these are, yeah, graphic 45. I do like a graphic 45. Not all of them, admittedly, but some of them. And how about somewhere like Paper Chase? These are Paper Chase envelopes, literally just a pack of envelopes, but these are interesting as well. So don't just think about, I need old stuff. As you're aware, I can make old stuff look new. Old stuff look new? No, new stuff look old. Oh, I can't make old stuff look new, otherwise I would look 25. But I can make a 25-year-old look my age, trust me. Just an hour with me. Okay, so how are we going to decorate this? Okay, so I actually think I want another tuck on the front, and what I was thinking is maybe using one of these cards. So I like this pattern. I'm going to cut the RSVP thing off, though. I'm not going to worry too much about how I cut it at the minute. Let's just... When you're cutting, it's always better if you move the card and not the scissors. You get a better line, although not on this occasion. Sorry, I'm doing that cutting thing and not talking thing. Trying not to lose anything, that's why. Okay. So I'm not very good at rounding corners, like hand rounding. Some of you guys, when I watch you, you're really good. You can just kind of freehand it. I'm rubbish at that. And if you are like me, who's rubbish at it, and you get like what I call like a spiky corner, you can't really see that. It's got like a bit of a nuggin. Just file it off. So it was never there. So, and the same with any bits where you've got like it's not quite rounded. File it off. You're making a junk journal at the end of the day, and if it looks a bit like old and scratty, then it looks a bit old and scratty, doesn't it? So yeah, just on, you know, I said the other card splits nicely. Some card, a bit like this, doesn't split very well. Kind of tears like that. It's a good job that's the back. There we go. So I'm going to age this up now. With a bit more than that. I think I need a new sponge. So yeah, I like mine. I think I've talked about this previously, but I like mine quite heavy with my aging. You know, and not always. I mean, I have made some journals that were like a bit cleaner. I've had to make some journals for people where they didn't want any like aging on it, and that's been a killer for me. Just resisting the temptation to age something. Actually, I'll make the edge a little bit darker. Means its bottom, it doesn't look as well used. No comments. So yeah, just making the edge a bit darker. And like now I can. Yep, I like that. I don't know whether it needs something else behind it. Maybe have one of these. Oh, F for Flynn. Or I could just have that as the top. Actually, yes, that's what I'll do. So, yeah, I'll just glue that down. Okay, so we're starting to build up like our pieces now. Now I did think about putting some napkin over this, you know, like I've done with these, but it gets a bit samey if you do all the same thing all the way through. So and also I can get told that I kind of do the same thing all the time, so you know, you repeat the things that you're good at, don't you? So yeah, I like to think something like that would be nice. Okay, I might age this up a bit. I know it's already aged, it's already ancient to be fair, but I just want to take the edges down. Some of the where are those Pan Am? These Pan Am cards are lovely because they've already got that kind of like that halo of grunge. So I've got to have an F because that's obviously one of my initials. Not that it's going to be for me, but so I'll put an F in there. What else have we got? A? What do you say? A? I. Oh, I. Oh, actually, do I want? Where's that? I could have. I did have another card here somewhere. This is welcome to my world. Like, you know, you put something down, 2 minutes later it's gone. Where is it? You know, so I bet it's gone under the glass mat. Oh no, it's there. Don't know what game these were from, but this is Wolverhampton. I don't know why I'm saying we're all Wolverhampton with a Birmingham accent, but I'm saying it with a Birmingham accent. For those of you that know that I'm from that neck of the woods, well, not that neck of the woods because I'm from Coventry. So please don't say that Coventry is anywhere near Birmingham because you'll get somebody shout at you. Yeah, let's put that in there. But I seem to be able to do a Birmingham accent quite well. Apologies if you are from Birmingham and you think, I don't speak like that. That's fine. I've heard people do a Coventry accent and I think, I don't speak like that. So it's absolutely fine. It's much better than my French accent. So okay, I'm just gonna make it a little bit. I like it sometimes to go, you know, sometimes people, when you go like all over it, if you don't want to do that, just put a few dabs here and there because it just basically looks like somebody's thumbed it then. There we go. So pop those in there. So we've got Wolverhampton and F. So so now we're thinking about decorating other bits. Okay, so I was thinking maybe that might look quite nice on it. Or maybe not. Maybe have it on there. No, maybe not. Sometimes, you know, when you see it in your concept in your head and then you try it, it's not right. So don't worry about it. Stay there. If you don't worry about it. If you think, oh, this we're going to go, you know, I said at the start to make a little envelope of things that you were going to like use. Sometimes those things just go out the window. They're only a suggestion, an idea. They're a bit like a serving suggestion, you know, when you buy your ready meal and you think, oh, it looks nothing like that. It's the same with when you go to one of those chain burger places and you get your burger and you think, where's the salad? So, although I've got to admit, nobody buys the burger for the salad, do they? So, yeah, I don't like that on there. I'm thinking, I quite like it in here. I've got something very similar there, but I don't, if it's not going to go, it's not going to go. No. Okay. So what? Stop closing it, Dave. It's that you want. So, I'm happy with that. I might have something on this edge, and it might just be something as simple as. Where the heck is it, Dave? What the? Oh, flaming it! Oh, it's there. Okay, so I might just have some of this washi tape on it. Again, just a bit torn off, and torn out a bit. Just make it look a bit. So, washi tape, yeah. Washi tape, if you're going to put it in a journal, I think I've told you this before, but stick it down. Don't just use the sticky that it comes with, because it will fail you when you least want it to. So, it seems to stick to everything. When you're trying to peel it off paper and it sticks, but then when you want it to stick, it doesn't. So I might just have that on there. I've got a little bit inside, so for those people that haven't seen inside, so there's a bit there. I'm going to put a little bit on the outside as well. Okay, so I want to, of course I want to age it, because it definitely looks too new for me. So, because this is washi tape, it's got kind of a shiny surface to it. It's not taking ink terribly well, but it's looking better than it did, and also the edges aren't quite as clean white. Peel it off the desk, Dave. Okay, so yeah, I'm happy now. I know that that's gonna have to come off a little bit more. Let's tear it down a bit. Cool. I'm just gonna age that edge there. Yeah, cool. So yeah, so I'm gonna put that on there. Yeah. Okay. I am also going to use, you know, I like this stuff. I'm running out of this stuff. I'm trying not to use so much of it as I did. This is my what was it called? See, look, you want it? You didn't want. I didn't want it to stick, and it did. It's that gummed paper that you can get. So I'm just gonna have a little bit showing. I'm gonna give it a raw edge. Kind of gives it that look like you've reinforced it a few times. You know, if you don't like it, you don't have to do it. I'm not your papa, as Nick the Booksmith would say. Well, she wouldn't. She'd say I'm not your mama. So, I'm going to rip that down there. Cool. Yeah, okay, cool. So again, it's just kind of winging it as you go. Again, I've made that edge look too new, so I'll just have to take the colour out of that. There we go. Yeah, yeah, I kind of like that. Okay, so what I'm going to stick it down with, I would, if I could, use some bookbinding glue, but I don't know where it is, so I'll use some of this. Although, if you just lick the gummed paper does seem to stick very well. I don't know what's on the back of that gummed paper. Horse, probably. And we used to drive past. I really love, for those of you that don't know, I really love donkeys, although I call them wonkies. So yeah, I get really excited when I see a wonky. I used to drive past a field that used to have wonkies in it, and every time I drove past it, and I was in the car with Brian, you know, I'd say, "Oh, I love the wonkies, oh, the wonkies." Yeah, and then one day the wonkies stopped being there, and now every time I drive past it, he says they're being turned into glue. So. So he's an evil man. People say he's so lovely. Some of the things that he says. Okay, so I've made that sellotape last time, didn't I? So I'm going to put some of that sellotape on it. I don't know which one I want to use. So, sorry, it's sticky tape. Stop calling it sellotape because it's not sellotape. It's not made by sellotape. That bit is. This is just some generic stuff. So what I tried to do is I tried to snip it and then rip it, snip it and rip it, and it gives you a bit more of an organic edge. but I think I am going to have that over there like that, and anything that kind of sticks out, gently cut away. Helps if your blade's nice and sharp, which I believe it is. I don't believe myself now. Use a pair of scissors. This is where the fine point of my Tim Holt scissors would come in wonderfully well, but however I don't like using them because I don't know, they're to be treasured, like the fact that I could afford to buy some. They were in a sale. So there we go, we've got a nice light kind of agey look to it now. Let's move some of this crap away. So you've just, I wondered why my elbow suddenly became sticky. I've just put my elbow in the glue. One singular sensation. Yeah, you don't want me singing. Get rid of all this junk. I know I like to keep like little bits of paper for just in case, but I'm not keeping those. I'm not that bad, despite what you all think. Okay, so now I need to think about, we're going to start thinking about what we're going to have in things. So see, these cards fit nicely in places like that. So I think we're going to make some ephemera to go inside, but we are going to do that next time. So what we'll do is we'll finish off decorating these bits. So again, this has turned into kind of like a green, yellow and kind of red kind of journal. It's, you know, it sometimes happens like that. So I'm thinking that the outside might be done in a very similar sort of way. Right, this stuff is literally things that I have printed onto tracing paper and then shoved through the Xyron. So I have a Xyron sticky thing. So yes, I love my Xyron, but you know what? You can't get the refills for it anymore. Not in the UK. I have to pay silly prices to get it shipped from America. Oh, I quite like them. On that, that's nice. Already had some things out of there. I quite like that as well. Okay. Do I want a butterfly? No. No! If it was a moth, I wouldn't mind, but it's not a moth, it's a butterfly. So I think I might, because this looks a bit more kind of industrially, I might have something that's a bit more industrially on it. So I think I'm going to go for a light bulb. I'm having a light bulb moment. Oh. I'm a big fan of ripping things. So, yeah, so literally all it is I've printed some pictures onto, sorry, I've just got my mic caught in my hair. It pulled my hair on my chin, I mean, not my head, obviously. And all I've done is I've literally just printed it onto some tracing paper. And then put that tracing paper through the Xyron. If you don't have a Xyron, you've missed out big style. So, I love it. Honestly, I really love that machine. And I was going to buy Brian one, but like because they don't sell the bits from in the UK anymore, it's no point. So anyway, yeah, so just tear that out a bit. So all I'm doing is I'm kind of basically just going to overlay this on the top. I might, when I say I might, to make it look a bit more aged, you know that was not a might, that's a definite. Because you'll be thinking, he's never going to leave it like that. No way. No, you're right, I'm not. I've just taken the shininess out of it. Oh, now the only thing you've got to do is peel the back off. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's not, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It does have a bit of a white edge, so I'm just going to go around the edge. That's just because when you've ripped tracing paper, it's quite fibrous inside, so it's poor man's vellum though, isn't it? So there we go. And we might have just a wording on top. Again, I don't mind what it looks like. So yes, next week I'm planning on doing ephemera. So it's all going to be about ephemera. And then I'm thinking that the concluded part of this, or the conclusion of this, will be the following week. So it'll be an odd number, 11 parts to the journal. Now 11, that would be good because 11 is my lucky number. I wasn't heading towards 11. 3 days later, Dave has managed to get this thing apart. Uh-oh, he's got the knife out. There we go. Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe 11 parts is what we're going to need to be able to finish this. If you were making this, so I think somebody's just asked about what a Xyron is. So no, I didn't. I kind of didn't explain it, did I? So, but yeah, it's, just a hand. I found, oh, there it is. It's my Xyron. It's covered in a layer of dust, but it's kind of just a sticky adhesive thing. So, well, it's got a googly eye on it because everything is better with a googly eye. I'll kind of just give you a quick demo. I'm going to do this properly because so you just put your sticky things in, things that you want to sticky in one end, you go through it like that, you cut that bit off, and that's it. You've made that sticky now. So they're still available in America, apparently, just not here. Maybe they just didn't sell very well. But yeah, you kind of just go around the edges, and then this peels off. It gets stuck to the dog when he comes in later, and then you do that, and you've made that into a sticky thing. Anyway, I'll use that in some way, perhaps not in this journal. So that's that bit there. So I'm making a bit of a cluster, which is probably going to go horribly wrong because Dave doesn't make clusters. This is some stamps. Oh, actually, I might use some real stamps. You might, if you can find this stamp book. Where is your stamp book, Dave? No, okay. I think I might stick a stamp on that. Oh, I know what I'll stick on there. These, anybody remember Co-op stamps? So, can I put one of those bigger stamps on it? Yeah, go for it, Dave. Yeah, Co-op stamps. My mum used to go to the Co-op all the time. Well, my grandma did as well. Go to the Co-op all the time, and you get your dividend stamps. And you get your milk tokens as well for putting on the doorstep, so you could exchange them for milk. Oh, those are the days, the good old days, as they were. You're aging something up, and there's absolutely no colour coming out of your sponge whatsoever. Just going to take the whiteness. Oh, these are actually genuinely old. It's just that they've been so well kept that they haven't aged. Yeah, I'm going to stick that on there, I think. Not down there. Like that, I think. Yeah. Oh, it's like 40-year-old lick on the back of that stamp. See if it'll stick down. we go. Oh, yeah, it's not stuck, has it? No, it's not stuck. It is like, I think it's about 40 years old, I don't know. So, put that on there, give it a smear. It's another word people apparently don't like, is the word smear, but apologies if I've just upset you. Moist, gusset and smear. So there we go, we've got that on there, and I might have something down here. What time are we on? I've got a few minutes yet, so what shall I have? Shall I just go very simple and just say files? Or file, or folio? Let's use folio, folder, folio. I get very excited about small things. Where's the O? Can't spell folio now. Folio. Folio. Under pressure to spell. There we go. This is why I never used to chalk and talk when I was a teacher, because you can't do that. You can't. I mean, I was an adult teacher. I taught adults. I still do to some extent. It's just obviously COVID has got in the way. I'm a facilities manager by trade these days, but I do used to teach in the evenings. But when you're teaching adults, and even if you're not teaching like English, you can't write something on a board and spell it wrong. The amount of times I did though, and like people in, it's so embarrassing when people in your class go, "That's not how you spell that." Sorry, they don't actually say it like that, but they might as well have done. Sorry, I'm thinking now. I'm reminiscing about my school. What school? My teaching days. Yeah. I've made some faux pas in my time, and luckily none of them captured on film, so, well, not that I'm aware of anyway. So there we go. So I will put something on here. I'm not quite sure what at the minute. Okay, so we are kind of gonna, let's just pack this away. So next week, what we're going to do, so I want you to start thinking about, if you're going to be making something like this, start thinking about what kind of gubbins are you going to stuff in it. Okay, I'm looking forward to what kind of comments you've made on this video today, so I'll read those later. I always comment, by the way. If you've left me a comment, I'll always comment on your comment. And I always try to pick up on your feedback. If you tell me I've done something and I should have done it like X, Y, and Z, I'll try and pick up on that. But yeah, start thinking about what you're going to put in things. So, you know, I know you can, well, you can still go to, in the UK, you can still go to DIY stores. So you might be able to, if B&Q suddenly get wiped out of these chips, I know why. So paint chips, yeah, fragrance cards. You might have a fragrance card tucked in the bottom of your handbag, or, you know, in the bottom of the wardrobe, or, you know, in a drawer that you put in with your socks to make them smell nice. Don't know why people want to make their socks smell nice. They're the furthest away from your nose. I wouldn't really worry about it. Or, you know, you might have some old playing cards, or you might have got a nice, actually it's a good way to use some of those nice cards that you might have got. Somebody might have sent you a wedding invitation card, and you know, you've never used it in some way, you kept it because you liked it. It's a good way to use those, these kind of old cards. And if you really don't have any kind of like anything like that, then just make them yourself. So just literally, this is just a greetings card that all I've done is I've tea dyed it. I've actually tea dyed it with real tea. So this pitting is from where the tea leaves were stuck to it, and then when it's dry you kind of brush them off, and this is what you get, this kind of pitting on it. So so tea dyeing, really good. If you don't already do tea dyeing, and some people have said, oh, I don't have the space to tea dye, then don't tea dye. Use some of, obviously not this because this is blue, but use some distress stain on your glass mat, spritz it with a bit of water and dab it up with whatever you're tea dyeing. And you know, you can get the tea dye version of this, and if you don't have that, then use the tea dye. Oh, get it all over yourself. Use some of this on your glass mats. Yeah, spritz it with a bit of water. Just kind of dilute it a bit. Find yourself something you want to tea dye. Dave, this is bad planning. Dave, find something on camera, quick! Make it snappy. Okay, let's tea dye this. Don't know what it is. Okay, so it's a bit white for me anyway. So just pick up the colour, and you've basically just making your own tea dye. But you don't have to make it in vats of stuff. You can add a bit more colour, so you can go a different colour, and so you can make it patchy. Not patchy in a bad way, I'm talking about patchy in a good way. You don't have to run your finger through it, but Dave's not happy unless he's like completely covered in. Okay, so you just, and then what you do then you just dry it off. So dry it off with your dryer, or leave it to dry naturally, entirely up to you. But you know, you can make your own tea dye. You can literally make it out of tea. Some people have asked me as well, when I'm tea dyeing, what do I use? I literally use tea. So I like loose leaf tea because it gives you that pitting. And sometimes I'll do it with like ground coffee. Ground coffee though doesn't give you as good a look as the instant coffee. So anyway, so yeah, start thinking about what you're going to put in your journal. Start getting your stuff tea dyed to give it a bit of a base. So I might do some of these tea dyed just to give them a base to work from. But yeah, start thinking about those things, because that's where we're going to go next week. So from next week, we are going to be putting stuff in pockets. I know I've put a couple of things in here, but we've got to think about what we're going to put in here. You know, we need to age this up a bit. We need to decorate this. Yeah, so start thinking about that. Start collecting your bits together. And I will see you, even though I started 5 minutes late, I'm going to finish on time. Sorry about, I've just realised you've had a big shiny bulb in the way there all this time. Put that there. So I will see you on the 15th at 3 o'clock. I will be there. I hope you will be. And it's ephemera the 15th of November. So yeah, you all have a good week, folks. Thank you for listening to me ramble today. I'll try to be prepared for next time. And best laid plans. So I live my life kind of winging it as it is. So you all have a lovely week. I love you all. Remember, I love you all without exception until you give me a reason not to. So mwah, mwah, mwah. Lots of kisses, lots of crafty hugs, and I will see you again soon. Bye. Where's the stop button? Nobody wants to hear me sing. Where's the stop button?